Hello sir, good morning. For today, I will discuss how I got my answer to the following question that you have given to us. So first, the class interval 11 to 15, 17 to 39, 293 to 353, and so on the following. So these are the to get the class boundary and the class midpoint and class width. So to get the class boundary, so this is my solution. So class boundary formula, subtract 0.5 from each lower class limit and add 0.5 to each upper class limit. So 11, this 11 plus 11 minus 0.5 is equal to 10.5. And then 15, which is, this is the lower limit and the upper limit. So the upper limit is 15. So 15 plus 0.5 is equal to 15.5. So that is the, this is the lower class boundary and the upper class boundary. So for the lower boundary, this is 10.5 and the upper boundary is 15.5. So that's how I get my answer for the class boundary. So for letter B, C, and D, this is also how I get my answer. So for the, to get the class midpoint, the formula is, or the class mark, so the formula is xi is equal to lower limit plus upper limit divided by 2. So for letter A, so we have 11 plus 15, which is our upper limit and the lower limit, is equal to 26. 11 plus 15 is equal to 26 divided by 2 is equal to 13. So that is our class midpoint. And so on for the letter B, C, D, and E. And to get the class width, so this is the formula, subtract lower class boundary to upper class boundary. So 15.5 minus 10.5, so this one is equal to 5. So 15.5 minus 10.5 is equal to 5. So that's how I get my answer for class width. 5, 23, 61, 3.9, and 1.8. So for the number 2, so these are the weekly expenditures, 70 to 99, 100 to 129, and so on. So these are the number of families, 5, 8, 12, 5, 20, and so on. So the question here is the lower limit of the fourth class interval is 160, because the lower class interval here is, in the fourth class, is 160, which is the upper limit or lower limit. And then for letter B, the upper limit of the sixth class interval is 249. Then the class mark of the third class interval is 144.5. So to get 144.5, so 129.5 plus 159.5 is equal to 289, divided by 2 is equal to 144.5. So for letter D, the class boundaries of the second class interval. So the answer is 99.5 minus 2, 129.5. So to get the answer is 100 minus 0.5 is equal to 99.5. 129.5 plus 0.5 is equal to 129. So this 100 is the upper class boundary and the lower class boundary and the upper class boundary. So in letter E, the width of the class interval. So the width of the class interval is 30. 129.5 minus 99.5 is equal to 30. So the relative frequency of the third class interval is 0.17. 12 divided by 70 is equal to 0.17. So for the percentage of the families earning less than 130 pesos per week, answer is 118. So number 4, given the following table, determine the class with the width of the distribution. So the answer is 4.9, which is, this is how I get 4.9. Solution, 9.4 minus 4.5 is equal to 4.9. And then 13.4 to 18.5 is equal to 4.9, and so on. So it should be the class width is the same number or uniform sila. So letter B, complete the frequency distribution table. construct a cumulative frequency. So these are my answers. So for class interval 5.0 to 8.9, so my class boundary is 0.5 minus 9.4. So these are my answer for class mark 6.95, and for this, these are the absolute or the frequency. And then this is the relative frequency 0.075. So to get the class boundary, you have to 5.0 minus 0.5 is equal to 4.5. 8.9 plus 0.5 is equal to 9.4. And for the class mark, the same process as how I get the other questions. So so the solution here is at the back. So for the class boundaries, this is my solution. 5.0 minus 0.5 is equal to 4.5. And then 8.9 plus 0.5 is equal to 9.4. And sa class mark sub, i-plus ni lower limit plus upper limit divided by 2. So this is the result, or this is my answer for the class mark. For the class relative frequency, 3 divided by 40, which is 3, is the frequency in each class interval, and the 40 is the overall frequency. Which is 40. So 3 divided by 40 is equal to 0.075. 5 divided by 40 is equal to 0.125. And for the percentage, so this is the formula for the percentage. P is equal to F, or frequency, divided by the number times 100. So 0.75 here, 0.075, it times 100 is equal to 7.5%. So that's how I get my answer here, 0.75%. And then to get the answer for the class interval and for the less than class interval and the greater than interval is this. For the less than cumulative frequency, we have 5 plus 3 is equal to 8. Like so 5 plus 3 is equal to 8. 8 plus 9 is equal to 17. 17 plus 12 is equal to 29. And then 29 plus 5 is equal to 34. 34 plus 3 is equal to 37. So 5 plus 3 here. 5 plus 3 is equal to 8. And then 8 plus 9. 8 plus 9 is equal to 17. 17 plus 12 is equal to 29. 29 plus 5 is equal to 15 is equal to 34. 34 plus 3 is equal to 37. 37 plus 3 is equal to 40. And also for the greater than. So for the class intervals, class boundaries, so this is my solution for the class boundaries. Since ang gipangita dire is ang class boundaries naman. So this is my solution for class boundaries. So ang lower limit, imuha siyang i-minus sa 0.5. The same as the upper limit, i-plus nimo siya sa 0.5. That is the class boundaries. And for learning number 2, each is constructed because in letter A, so i-differentiate nimo tong box nga upat ka buok. Letter A is the class width are not all equal. In letter B, the class width is overlap. In letter C, the class width, the gap is too far. And in the letter D, the difference is start with 5, 6, then again 6, and lastly 3 which make it wrong. So for letter B, 73.19.42 minus 21.54. 21.54 to 23.66, 23.66 to 25.78. So these are my answer for letter B. So for letter C, this is also. And so dili na lang nako gibutang since dili naman siya kaigo dire. So dili nako gibutang, gisumpay lang. And then for letter D, this is how I got my answer. So the same process lang gihapon, pangitaon nimo ang class width, class mark, ug ang class boundary. So this is my solution So dili na ako siya explain kung yun sa kay the same pareha man siya og unsaon pagkuha sa class width, class boundary and class marks. The same also in this solution. Pareha ra unsaon pagkuha sa boundaries na solusyon ako gyud sa pagkuha sa boundaries sa class mark and also sa class width. Diri sa ang gipangita diri is ang solution mo. This is my solution for the relative frequency. 5 divided by 70 is equal to 0.071. 8 divided by 70, that is 0.049, and so on. So the same process for the table letter B sa number 4, and for letter F, contract of, so this is how I get my percentage. So 5 divided by, diba, 5 divided by 70 is equal to 0.71 naman to. Mo na ni siya. I-times ni mo na siya og 100, mo na siyang 7.1%. And then 8 divided by 70 is equal to 0.114. I-times ni mo na siya og 100, mo na siyang na 11.14, and so on sa kaning mga answer nako. So and table B, so solution, the same process lang gihapon. The same process lang gihapon, imo siyang i-times og 100. So 2 divided by 80 is equal to 0.025. I-times nimo siya 100 mo ng 2.5, and so on. So that's how I get my answer for percentage frequency sa letter table B sa number 6. And for letter G, construct cumulative frequency. This is how I get my answer. So for less than cumulative frequency, 5 plus 8, so 5, kapihon mo na siya diri, which is mauman siya ang less than 5. So 5 plus 8, 13. 13 plus 12, 25. 25 plus 5, 30. 30 plus 20, 50. 50 plus 17, 67. 67 plus 3, 70. And also for the greater than. For the greater than, we have 3. For the greater than 3, copy. So 3 plus 17, we have 20. 20 plus 20, we have 40. 40 plus 5, we have 45. 45 plus 12, we have 57. 57 plus 8, we have 65. 65 plus 5, that is 70. That's how I get my answer for the greater than and less than cumulative frequency. So next, we have the so di na ako siya i-discuss, kina-discuss na ako ganina. So how I get my values na ko sa less than and greater than sa cumulative frequency. So next, we go to this one, learning activity 3. So in exercise 1 and 2, identify the class width, class mark, and class boundary. So the same process lang gihapon kung unsaon pagkuha ang class boundary, ang class mark, ug ang class width. So more gihapon siya nga balik-balik lang, class boundary, class mark, class width. So the same nagyapon process siya ang saan pagkuha, the same formula. And then for the construct the following frequency table. So here in table A, we have the class interval na to is 0.7247, 0.7249. So these are our frequency. So these are my relative frequency, 0.06. So to get this is my solution. So 15 divided by the overall 230, which is the overall frequency, we have 0.06. And then 42 divided by 230, that is 0.18. So that's how I get my relative frequency here. And for the percentage niya, so mo ni ang formula. So katong 0.06, i-times nimo to siya og 100, mo ng 6%, and so on. That's how I got my answer. For the same process with the table B sa number 2. Yun sa pagkuha ang frequency, percentage, and relative frequency. And then, so dili na nako i-discuss kung yun sa pagkuha ang less than and a greater than cumulative, kay kuha naman siya pareha man 15 plus 42 is equal to 57. So 57 plus 68 is equal to 125. 125 plus 49, that is 174. 174 plus 26, 200. 200 plus 200 plus 18 is equal to 230. 218. 218 plus 12 is equal to 230. So, the same gyapon sa greater than. And then, the same process. So, these are my answer for letter E, 750 to 2,669. Basahon na lang ako kung answer, sir, kay kanang wala man ako gidirect ra man gud nako, wala ako gibutang iyahang katong question ani niya dire yung kuan. So gidirect answer na lang nako siya, same sa letter F. So diri sa class intervals for frequent, so these are my answer for the letter G and H. So di na ako basahon, sir. So yung learning activity 4, so to get the frequency, so ang FR ihap na ko dire kung pila ka buok FR. Then ako siyang gipang crash out katong pila ka buok FR, bali giingunanin ako siya, gibagisan ako siya kung pila ka buok FR, then 1 2 3, then 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So, that's how I get my frequency. 18 ka buok FR. So, on sa maupod sa SO, JR, and SE, which is the freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior. So, ginana na ko pag ang frequency. The same process sa kaning number 2. And then, the class interval. So, direct na lang dyan ako siya sulat ang answer, sir. Wala na i-copy itong iyahang question. And then, wala na nilabot ang reflection corner. So, there is a learning activity 1. So, corresponding to the table on the right. So, kani nga table. So, ang pautana de construct a frequency distribution. So, mo ni ako ang frequency distribution histogram. So, these are the frequency, and kani siya mao ni ang age in years kani, which is ang iyahang upper limit. Ang gikuha nako dire ang upper limit. And then so 15 natunong siya sa ang frequency niya is 18. So mo na siya ay 8. So mo na siya 8. Then ang sa 20 ang iyang frequency is 15. Mo na siya. Then and so on sa kaning 26, 32, 38 sa value sa age and years. And pagkuha sa ako sa class mark, so this is my class mark. And then mo ra gyapon mo ni ang frequency. And then sa 15 ang iyang kuan sa 15 is 8. Then sa 15 to 17 mo ng 20 ay 8. Then sa 23.5 mo ng 15, and so on. So, this is my frequency distribution polygon. So, mao ni pagkuha nako sa frequency niya and iyahang frequency sa less than o greater than. So, mo ang solution. 8 plus, so gikapin nako ang 8. So, 8 plus 15, 23. 23 plus 6, 29. 29 plus 6, 35, and so on. Maupod sa greater than. Dayon, letter B. So, length or centimeter and frequency. So, mao ni ang kuan frequency nara. Wala na butangan. So, mao ni siya ang frequency, and then this is the length or the centimeter. So, this is my frequency distribution histogram. So, 237 ang kuan niya is 2. Then 237 to 239 mo ng 2 yung frequency. Din ang 242 yung frequency niya is ang 8 mo ng 8, and so on. So for the class marks, the same gap mo rin yung solution for class marks. Yun saan ako pagkuha ang iyahang class mark. 237 plus 239. 237 plus 239 is equal to 476. I-divide mo siya 2 mo ng 238, and so on. So this is my answer for the frequency distribution polygon. The frequency and then the tawagan niya iyang class mark. So 230 to 238 mo na ang 2. Kaya ang frequency niya is 2 man. Ang 238 kay 2. Gibutan ako siya 230 kay kuan man siya kanang lower pa sa nangita ko lower limit pa sa 238. So mo nang 230. And then sa 241 kay 8 iyang frequency and so on. Dayon diri sa this is how I get my less than cumulative frequency and greater than cumulative frequency. Mo ni ang solution. And then so construct a pie chart. So mo ni ako ang pie chart aning mo ni ang frequency in every kuan weapons used in murderers in 2017. So 11,483. So kani siya mo ni ang firearms nako. Dako siya kay mas dako siya may pinakadako sa kuan tanan value sa mga gigpagamit sa mga weapons sa mga murderers. And then the same gihapon sa category frequency. And then diri sa kuan mo ni ako Pareto chart. So these are the homicide rape. So ang pinaka kuan dire pinaka kanang grabe daghan nga murder or cases kanhitabo is ang robbery and assault. 164 and ang robbery is 29. Ang assault 124, ang robbery is 29. Dayon diri sa letter A class interval frequency gidirect answer na ako sir kay kanang kuan wala ko i-copy yang question. Then mao ni ako ang frequency distribution polygon. The same gyapon mao ni ang frequency, this is the class mark. And then ang mga frequency niya kani sab mao ni ang 8.5 to 9.5 ang frequency niya is 6. Dayon mao ni ang solusyon nako pagkuha nako sa cumulative frequency. And then the same sa class mark o the same sa letter number 2, letter B, this is my frequency, the class mark, how I get my distribution histogram. And lastly, sa frequency distribution ogive. So this is how my solution to how I get my answer for cumulative frequency. And then frequency distribution ogive. So that's all and thank you.